Here we have another chain rule example problem. So we want to differentiate the following using the chain rule where we have h of t is equal to 2t plus 3 over 6 minus t squared, all raised to the third power. So the first step in using the chain rule to differentiate this function is we want to determine our inside and outside functions. So when we look at this function, we know that the data contained within the parentheses will be our inside function, and we know that the exponent will be our outside function. So when we apply the chain rule, we're first going to take the derivative of the outside function, or our exponent term. So we'll put this 3 out in front of our expression, and then we'll have it to the second power. And then the second step in the chain rule is we want to leave the inside function alone. So you can see the 2t plus 3 to the 6 minus t squared will be left alone. The last step in the chain rule is we want to multiply it by the derivative of the inside function. And so here's where it can get a little bit tricky. When we look at this inside function, we can see that we have a fraction, and so we know that we'll have to use the quotient rule to take the derivative of this inside function. So here we have our quotient rule. For a little bit of background refresher, this is our equation for the quotient rule. So we can set up our f of t and g of t terms, where f of t will be the top term and g of t will be this bottom term. And we can take the derivatives of these two functions. So taking the derivative of f of t will give us 2, and taking the derivative of g of t will give us negative 2t. The next step is we can go ahead and plug this information into our equation for the quotient rule. So you can see that that's what we're doing here, and we'll get the following expression. After that, we can go ahead and plug this information back for our g prime of t to complete our chain rule. And this is what we're left with. H prime of t is going to be equal to 3 multiplied by 2t plus 3 over 6 minus t squared, all to the second power, which was the first portion of our chain rule, and then multiplied by 2t squared plus 6t plus 12 over 6 minus t squared to the second power, which was our second portion of the chain rule. And like always, if you have a question, send it to me and I'll make a video on it.